We welcome in the founder of Guardian Angels, former New York City mayoral candidate Curtis Sliwa, joining us live in the studio. Curtis, very good to see you, and thank you so much. And just dive right into it. So you've got 10 shot, 13 injured on a subway station there in Brooklyn. Overall thoughts when you saw that news break?
Just a continuation. It's like every day. I'm in the subways. It's crawling into the belly of the beast. It's a combination of Dante's Inferno. And remember, Jack Nicholson and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Everywhere, terror reigns. And this mayor has not gotten control of it. It's worse than it was with the prior mayor. And they got to lock down this system. They got to do the things that Rudy Giuliani did to bring this city back from the murder capital of America to the safest big city. And that means stop and frisk. That means traffic stops. That means proactive policing. And they're not doing it. They're not doing it.
When you think about the people who were taking this train, 8:30 a.m., going from Brooklyn to Manhattan, likely headed to work, a daily routine, a daily commute. A lot of people rely on the subway for public transportation in New York. Is it unsafe to travel at this time? And what can be done to really protect yourself if this is your only form of transportation?
Well, it's absolutely unsafe. That's why you see people fleeing to Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. The exodus continues. And you would think this is the veins and arteries. We have to get our city back. We're the biggest city that has had the slowest recovery. And it's now because of crime, not COVID. So you would think every resource imaginable would be poured into this. Look, they took $1 billion out of the police budget, the former mayor and the city council. They never put it back. Not this mayor. There's no intention to put it back. So how are you going to continue to patrol the city, subways and streets where crime is skyrocketing if you don't have enough police? So you know what? All of the people who showed up yesterday for the press conference, I know them all. It's like pyromaniacs who then declare themselves to be firefighters. They started this. No bail. Defund the police. Defund prisons. Now they got this hot mess. And what are they going to do? Another press conference in which they go, woe is me. Well, guess what? Hire more cops, get proactive, stop and frisk, and start making arrests, and stop moaning and groaning and complaining, or go find another job.
Facts back up a lot of what you're saying here in terms of crime. Crime has risen 2021 to 2022 in a very large way, albeit various incidents, including violence, et cetera, in New York City, and specifically subways. And we've seen subways attacks as well, according to stats that we've seen. Also this, though, going back in time to a point that you made back in 2019, there are several Democratic lawmakers. There was a time where there was an ask to put more MTA officers, more law enforcement into the subway systems. And we actually have it here if you want to take a look, Curtis. These are just headlines here for the past year and a half where protesters, elected officials, including AOC, calling for less police on subway. This was not just for New York City, but other major cities as well, calling to defund the police. And again, you've just heard now the mayor, others saying, oh, we need more police in the subways. Compare what you've seen over the past couple of years. And if these voices weren't so loud, could we have had safer public transportation?
Oh, no doubt. AOC all out crazy. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. When's the last time we saw the princess actually get into a subway car? That ain't happening. It's a double standard. My little pretties, you people, you're going to be the victims of the criminals. And they care more about the criminals than they do the civilians who have to take the subway system. So guess what's happening? There's a massive exodus, and it's going to continue because our elected officials, Democrats in New York City, are not going to have a law and order approach. You can't have it both ways. In life, if you try to satisfy both sides, you end up satisfying nobody. And now what is Eric Adams going to do? He's Mr. Law and Orders. I'm the former cop. What cop? You're not doing anything the cops should be doing, which is letting them be cops. Turn them loose. They know how to do their job. Let them make arrests and let them clean up this. What our subway system needs, I hate to put it this way, a colonic. It really does, because it's a sewer down there. Just the attack on your senses, the homeless, the emotionally disturbed, the criminals, the gangs. It's anarchy down there. And the city and the state are doing nothing about it.
Yeah. You do have to wear, of course, face masks when you're traveling on the subway. The suspect was allegedly wearing a gas mask at the time of the crime here. When you talk about police and their police presence in the subway, are there enough officers who would be able to be stationed in these subway stations?
No.
Are there enough who are willing to join the force to serve at this time of crime?
No, in fact, recently Eric Adams went to Chicago with Mayor Lightfoot, I call her Lightweight, to discuss crime-fighting techniques. And they both admitted they're having a tough time recruiting new cops, so they're lowering the standards. We have recruitment officers coming from Florida and Washington, D.C., hiring our police, and we're not being able to hire enough police. Why? The one reason that recruits tell you, because they won't let me be police. They've neutered me. They've rendered me impotent. We need police to be police. Eric Adams was a former cop. He could lead the way, but guess what? He's half-stepping. And when you half-step in life, you get nothing done. And that's why imagine this. We have worse crime now than we had with de Blasio. Could you have ever imagined that?
Well, that's the next point I was going to make, is that many thought that getting Mayor Eric Adams, with his background with the NYPD, that this would be the main focus. Crime would immediately come down. It's going in the exact opposite way.
Well, maybe that's because they're not in the subways like Curtis Sliwa every day.
Sliwa, I know you are in the subways all the time, and it's good to have you in studio. We do appreciate you taking the time. Curtis Sliwa, thank you very much. Again, we continue to follow that breaking news there.